First of all, I think 4 weeks ago I called and you uh, gave some really nice tips. So thank you for that about the chakra system, and it has helped me a lot. So
Oh,
I've
nice.
read the book and doing breathing exercises, heart meditations, and that's really releasing some stuck emotions that I wasn't aware of. But it's good to let it come up. And secondly, about today's subject, I thought it, yeah, something came up that I had in a meditation, a certain sentence that came up, and I thought it was quite fitting to what you were speaking about. It was actually, it's a little bit blunt,
Yeah.
but the sentence was, "Hope equals hell." because it's like you're not content, or you're fighting what is. It's like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, like, there's different forms of hope. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, there's different types of hope, but most of the time, what people are doing is they're hoping that tomorrow is going to bring them freedom. So this practice is going to give me freedom. This house is going to give me freedom. This wife or husband is going to give me
yeah,
freedom. These kids are going to give me freedom, and that creates hell because you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And if it doesn't give back, which it won't, it will fail. Then it's more and more like suffering and like contraction for you because you keep going down the same path. You know, when you're sort of like 10, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it. And then you get to 20 and you're like, oh, it's a little harder. You're like, yeah, but I'm still going to make it. You get to 30 and you're like, yeah, you're just going to get a kids, a better job. And then you get to 40 and you're like, oh, fuck it, okay. There's something not quite right here. 50, and then it's like your energy just keeps shrinking down because you keep having this wrong belief that the next thing will free you. And then the whole time, what's actually happening is being missed.
yeah, yeah. So you said different kinds of hope, but not to confuse it with trust, because
Yeah,
I do feel trust, like trust in life or
yeah.
whatever.
Well, that's
Like,
a nice distinction. Yeah, yeah,
but it felt, when that sentence came up, it felt very relieving. Like,
yeah,
there's no need to know everything and to fight everything. It's just like, oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it's always like there's not always a one way. Like I remember when a close relative of mine had cancer, and they'd been given like a very short period to live, but they weren't able to accept that yet. And I could see also hope helped them. Like so, it's not always one way. Like even though like so hope that they could get better, or hope that a drug worked, or hope that something would improve, help them. So it's not always like we like to make round statements where it's like always like this. I do it all the time. When you're a public
yeah,
speaker, you're always doing it. You're like dang, dang, dang. But there's always like exceptions. Like in the way they would have been better off like accepting the situation and surrendering into it. But when there's not a readiness for that, like having all one news at one go can be too much for people. So sometimes, so I saw with them and with this partner that like hope helped them survive something for a period of time. You know, it was like a gentle letdown or a more gentle letdown. I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, who knows? Maybe if they'd just been hit full blast with it, maybe they'd have had some sort of awakening. But it felt like watching from the outside, it was more gentle for them to have this hope, these bits of hope.
yeah. That makes sense.
So I think there's like different forms of hope, but most of the time, what's happening in society, and I totally agree, is that it's like hoping that freedom's going to arrive, always hoping freedom's going to arrive in the next moment. like today when I was watching this documentary, I don't know if you listened to a talk earlier, I watched this documentary where there was so much suffering in it. And then I could see the children begin to make up stories about their future to try and like escape their present. Like, so I could see the forming of it, you know, because they filmed it over years. So you saw the children growing up. And then you can see them beginning to make these stories about what they want to do and like talking and creating this life in the future for them. And in one way, that's part of growing up and experiencing this life. But you could also feel how they were trying to get out of anxiety and stress and discomfort. It was like a lullaby to them. And in the end, like when you do that for like 20 years, it's going to make it worse.
Yeah, lullaby. That's like, yeah. It's also sometimes like a warm blanket. Like it makes you feel comfortable, but
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, with pleasure.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, I also wanted to say just like the meditation you do in the beginning. It's funny. I just put on YouTube and the meditation is on, and it immediately makes me sink into just being. So.
Oh, nice.
I really appreciate that.
Oh, good. Oh, thanks for saying that. Yeah, nice.
All right. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to speak to you. Bye.
Bye-bye.